Recycle, I ask, but she extends a hand, takes the pamphlets from me, shuffles through. She keeps one aside, tosses the rest in the recycle box. Your favorite restaurant? I ask, hoping she'll recognize the sign for favorite and understand. She grimaces. No, she says, terrible food. But Kimmy, the delivery driver, is a lovely girl. She hands me Kimmy's menu, indicates where it should go, and the memories of terrible food and a nice person are stored within the pages of a red hardbound journal. The foyer lights flash, indicating someone's rung the doorbell. Even though I've a clear view of the front yard from my window seat, I was so absorbed in my book I didn't notice anyone approach. I clamber down, answer the door. Iris stands on our front step, breathing hard, wearing an orange and white polka dot house dress. Mom appears, ushers Iris into the living room. Once Iris is settled on our couch, she reaches into the large pocket of her dress, withdraws a book, The Tale of Despero. Mom interprets as Iris and I talk. I finished this last night, Iris says. I wanted to return it in case you needed to read it. I know how it is with favorite books. I take Despero from her, ask, what did you think? I adored it, Macy. Thank you for sharing it with me. I should like to be as brave as that mouse, as kind as that princess. Iris stays for tea with my mother. I leave them visiting, settle on the window seat, open my book, and slip into the world of a girl who calls herself El Defo. Later, after Mom sees Iris home, she says, I don't know that she'll be up to coming to the wedding. Since I avoid wedding thoughts as much as possible, it hadn't occurred to me Iris might be there. You invited her? Of course, Mom says. She's very dear. You know she brought cookies for us the day we moved into this house. I think of last week's burned cookies, the smoke, Iris with her hands over her ears. Will she ever bake again? Mom says, we're fortunate to have her as a neighbor. She's right, we are. I wonder where I got the idea. Iris was crabby. Wonder why I never learned her story. I guess she never learned mine either. Even now we barely know each other, and yet the thought of a rainbow goddess being present at my mother's wedding somehow makes the whole depressing occasion much more pleasant to anticipate. Glass jar. Candle inside, flowers twisted into a wreath that doesn't fit around the base of the jar. I know Mom gave me this job to make me part of the planning, as if it would make the wedding, the changing family, the moving from my home all seem like a great idea. It's not working. I untwist the fake flowers, reshape them, weave in lavender ribbon, and tie a bow. Maybe this one's pretty good. As good as it's going to get anyway. That's lovely. Whoops. That's lovely, Mom says, even though it's a bit lopsided. How many have you finished? Just this one? Macy, the wedding is in 2 weeks. I need you to... Mom's hands freeze. Mid-sign dropped to her side. She walks past me, no explanation, strides across the living room to peer out the front window. What's happening? I ask, and Mom says, siren. Points outside where an ambulance with lights flashing stops right in front of Iris's house. Mom and I rush to Iris's yard. The paramedics go inside with their stretcher. I want to follow, but Mom says no, so we wait on the lawn, my insides knotting up as if weeds are twisting around my heart, my lungs choking me. When the paramedics finally reappear, Iris is strapped on the stretcher, some sort of mask covering her mouth and nose. Back door of the ambulance opens, stretcher bumps, rolling legs fold up, and Iris disappears, swallowed up inside. The doors close, driver hops in the front, lights flashing again, and it drives away. I've discovered a universal truth. School is ever so much harder without a best friend. I stumble through my red front door, drop my backpack in the foyer, slump on the sofa. A moment later, chaos enters the room. The twins are here. Mom appears, arms laden with board games. She plunks them on the coffee table, doesn't even ask how my day went. Alan's sitter bailed, she says. Will you play with the girls? I need some time in my office. This morning I was at the hospital visiting Iris, and now. She gestures towards Bethany and Caitlin, who are spinning on the spot, then staggering about dizzy. You visited Iris? I say, without me? Her eyes bulge like she's exasperated. Can't believe I'm missing the point. I need to work, she says. You're on duty. She turns on her heel, vanishes into her office. I wave the twins over. We're on our third game of kerplunk, marbles tumbling down the clear plastic container over and over.